Hi, I'm Dr. Don Kayani-Pilipovich. I'm the co-founder of the Acunet Healing System. And by popular request, we've decided to launch a healing webinar series specifically for immune function. We're calling it the Immune Power Healing Webinar Series. And it's going to be a series of 8 calls. Again, lots of people are concerned about the coronavirus epidemic that the world is experiencing right now. And they've asked us for support. And I think this is one of the best ways that we can do that for us to support you. Obviously, you know, the doing Connect, if you've been trained in it on yourself or getting it from somebody else is also a wonderful option. But I've spent a lot of years studying the immune system, and I wanted to be able to put out something that could really help people in this time where people have concerns about that. So I'm just doing this very short video to just talk about how it can help, not only for people who are concerned about their own health, for clients or patients, but for practitioners, because many of our practitioners are finding that lots of people, you know, are concerned with, can you help me improve my immune function? So for both reasons, this webinar series I think is going to be really useful for a lot of people, both help improve your health, but if you are a practitioner, improve your understanding and your ability to help others. So here's the concept I want to talk about. In any infectious epidemic, including the current one, the vast majority of people either don't get sick at all or only have mild symptoms. So, and in the current coronavirus crisis, many people who are exposed are asymptomatic. That's actually one of the concerns that's leading to all of the lockdown measures and social distancing measures around the world, is that for many people, it's just not very serious at all. And many people don't even show any signs of infection. So, you know, they're just circulating freely. A very small percentage actually gets mild symptoms, and an even smaller percentage is seriously affected. Now, for the people who are seriously affected, it's serious. So the trick is to not be in that small percentage that is seriously affected. In other words, what can we do for ourselves and for our clients to ensure that, you know, we're in the much larger percentage of people who gets no symptoms or mild symptoms, and you know, both for ourselves personally, but also to not overwhelm the hospital system with everybody getting sick and needing attention because they're in that serious percentage, right? So here's the first thing to think about, and why a healing webinar series like this can work, is the fact that so many people aren't having a strong reaction. Means that a person with a healthy immune system can handle it. In other words, you know, we tend to only think about how strong is the virus, and you know, and then people get scared of that. And okay, some people are really sick. That's valid, but we need to look at the fact that most people aren't getting really sick. And what that tells us is, if the immune system is getting all the resources and energy it needs, and it's also being supervised or regulated by the nervous system appropriately, then the person doesn't have a terrible time with it. So, and really, the people who are having serious problems have some other health stress in their body. Now, sometimes it might be something that's really obvious, that they've been diagnosed with, you know, high blood pressure or heart disease, or they're a smoker or something like that, which obviously stresses the lungs. And other times it's not so obvious, you know, so, but it is tending very, very strongly to be elderly people who don't have as many reserves to begin with, and actually typically elderly people with some other health complication. Um, so that's the, you know, that's the idea of this. So I want to introduce a concept that is how I think about immune function and health in general. Actually, I think about the concept of an adaptive range, and what I mean by that is our ability to adapt and function to with less than optimal functioning, or to adapt to stress and so on. I'm calling that our adaptive range. If we're right in the middle of our adaptive range, we're vibrantly healthy and everything's going well. If we're off center to some degree, we have some symptoms of illness. Now, if we're just a little off center, it might be that, oh, well, I'm not as young as I used to be kind of thing, you know, just a little bit tired and not as much energy as you used to have. The further you go outside that middle of that adaptive range, the stronger the symptoms. At some point, when you go past the edge of the adaptive range, well, then that means literally your body can no longer adapt and stay functioning, and that's what death is, right? So it's a simple model, but I think it's a useful way to visualize health. So with that, you know, I've drawn these concentric circles here. The green circle in the middle represents everything's functioning perfectly, efficiently, totally in balance. You know, your digestion's strong, you're really getting all the nutrition out of your food, you have loads of energy, you're sleeping really well at night, you know, your body's replacing all the tissue, it's keeping the immune system clean, and everything's working. That's health, right? That's vibrant health. If we go out a little bit, you know, again, it's like, oh, you know, not as young as I used to be. I'm just getting a bit slower and older kind of thing. We don't necessarily have a label for it. You know, it's just kind of vague, not quite as healthy as I used to be. We go further out, and now we have symptoms. And depending on the strength of the symptoms, as we go further out, it might mean symptoms that we want to have medication for or need medication for. You know, we go even further out of that perfect balance in the middle, and now we have serious illness, right? And if we go further out from there, then that's outside the adaptive range, and that's death. So that's the imagery, right? So anything that pushes, any kind of stress pushes you away from the center, you know, further and further from that vibrant health state. That could just be poor diet. It could be, a lot of people eat well, but they have really poor digestion, so they don't replenish themselves very well. It could be emotional stress, anxiety, depression, or other kinds of emotional stress. Just lack of sleep, you know, lack of fresh air and exercise, all of these things, some of them, you know, stronger than others, but they all tend to push us away from that middle zone there. And, you know, lack of sleep is a huge one, because that affects so many people. And not getting enough sleep, you know, like if you don't get enough sleep for several nights in a row, it'll actually increase your chance of infection by 2 or 3 times than if you had plenty of sleep, you know, adequate sleep on a consistent basis. So that really is a factor that pushes you outside the adaptive range. And it's one way to understand why the elderly are unfortunately at such risk for the current coronavirus situation, is that 50% or more of seniors suffer from insomnia. So a lot of them are in chronic sleep deprivation. And that's actually part of what minimizes their, weakens their immune system. So there are lots of things we can do. In other words, that, you know, these are some of the big stressors. If we address these, then we're not getting pushed further out of our adaptive range. And if we properly address them and clear these stresses, then we start to move back into the center of our adaptive range. And any step towards the center is better, right? So, you know what, if there's a significant health issues, you may not be able to make it all the way back to the center in vibrant health straight away. But every step you take gives you a larger adaptive range that's left. So eating better, you know, getting some fresh air and some exercise, having stronger digestion, clearing the excess emotional states, shifting the beliefs that keep you in that fight or flight mode of stress and so on, and getting adequate sleep. These are all things that we can do. Now, with all of these things, these are the kinds of things I work with people when they come to see me for an Acunex session, is doing energy balancing to clear their stress, to shift their beliefs, to improve their digestion, and then to be able to focus on the immune system to give it more energy. So that's the idea. So this Immune Power Healing webinar series is going to be about Acuconnect energy healing sessions to resolve your stress and hence increase your adaptive range, push you into the middle of the circle, into the green zone, so to speak. We'll address the energetic and spiritual factors that affect immune strength. I'll also talk about some dietary or lifestyle habits that could help to support your immune function. And, you know, some of the balancing is going to be just general balancing to strengthen underlying health in general, just to make sure your body has enough energy to have a good, strong, well-balanced immune response. So each call will include some information and insights and tips in order to strengthen immune function, but I'll do a powerful Acuconnect healing session for everybody on the call to clear stress from the body and the mind, make you stronger, and importantly, give energy to the immune function. So that's how it's going to work. The calls are on Sunday nights at 10 p.m. London time. And the calls are recorded. So if for any reason you can't make the call live or can't make some of the calls live, you know, you can go to the website and watch the replay the next day. So, and the replays will stay up. So there's not like a time pressure on that. So, you know what I didn't put on this slide? It's 8 calls. 8 calls for $197 US. So by doing this as a group healing session, I'm able to really keep the cost down so that you know, so that I can serve as many people as possible. So if you want to sign up, go to acuconnect.com/immune-booster/. Okay, that's the place where you can sign up and get registered for this. And I hope you can join me. You know, it's going to improve your health and clear your stress, help you find some calmness in these stressful days. And if you are a practitioner, again, it'll really help you help your clients as well. So thank you for your time. And I hope you're able to join me for this important series. Thank you.